kamu?
So I'm going to start because I know we're on a little bit of time. So come closer so that's how you sit right here. You can share a chair. It's okay.
Would you be using?
Do I need to use the microphone? I do?
Hello.
Yes, do I need to use the microphone?
You're in a hot spot, huh?
Yeah, you know this is a nice one.
Mamaya picture, ha? Mamaya picture.
Power's gone.
Power!
Okay, you've heard me, you guys have heard me speak so many times. What do you want to know? What do you want to know? What question, what burning question do you want to know? Other than which country we're going to open?
Yeah!
Or which product we're going to launch?
Yes!
You know, I want to talk about that because people are always asking, what's the next product that we're going to launch? And even if it was pure rest, okay, even if it was that product, don't record that. You know, it's actually, you've got enough products. You've got enough products. And when we started in, can you hear me now? Is that okay? Is that on? No, there we go, there's power there. Anyway, you can hear me alright? Yeah. Even when we started here 4 years ago, you know, we had like 6 products. Who was here 4 years ago? Who was here 4 years ago? No? Only our Plain Air. So we had like 5 or 6 products. But still the business grew. And then we added 2 or 3 products and the business still grew. And then we have product shipping problems. And the business still grows. And it's not about the product. I mean, the product foundation is really important. One of the great things about what we do is that we've got Dr. Wentz's guarantee. We've got over 600 athletes from around the world who use our products and endorse our products, not because we pay them, but because they use them, because they get the results. And so all of the foundation, you know, being a TGA and an FDA-approved facilities where the products are manufactured, all of those foundation elements, and I think as some of you have heard me talk about before, one of the great things about Usana is that every time you get a question, there's always a good answer for that question. No matter what people ask you, there is always an answer that has foundation. And so the products are very important, but what makes the business grow is you. It's how many people you talk to every day. The only way your business grows is based on the number of people that you speak to every day. The most successful people in Usana talk to people. And the second thing that they do is that they never quit. I haven't met one person who's wearing a diamond pin who quit. Think about it. I've met a lot of people in a lot of different businesses who tell me that things haven't worked because they've quit. I don't know if it was in that order, but I've never met any successful people in Usana who have quit. And so our business is really based on 2 principles, and they are talk to people and never quit. So what are they? Talk to people, never quit. And so we were talking today about Bill and Jenny Huang. Bill and Jenny Huang are the 2nd highest income earners in the world. The 2nd highest income earners in the world. They moved to New Zealand about 11 years ago and they spoke no English. So rule number 3 is don't speak any English. No, I'm just kidding. But you know what? He's a maths professor and she's a marketing manager from China. And they moved to New Zealand because they wanted to create a better educational opportunity for their children. 11 years later, they're 5-star diamonds. They speak English, not fluently, but they speak English. And they have one of the largest incomes in the world. And I always say to them, what's the difference between you and anyone else in Usana or anyone else in our industry? What is the difference? What do you do every day? And
They reset every day they wake up. And I love the way they talk about that. They reset their business. Every day in their business is opening day. So you think about it, if you had a business that you had just invested $200,000 in, you would work that business to the bone to get that money back. I don't know why that's any different from what we do. We have better opportunity without having to invest that amount of money. And so when we open our doors at Usana, whether it's here in the Philippines or whether it's in Australia or whether it's in New Zealand, every day is like the first day of opening our business. Always treat it like I'm cutting that ribbon. I'm ready to start. And what do? To be successful in our business, we do two things. We talk to people and we never quit.
Yes.
And so when we open the doors, we talk to people, we look after people. Our job, one thing that we do, our job as a company is to look after you. And if we don't do that right, you need to let us know. You need to let us know. And that's why you have an upline. You let him know. And he'll let us know. Because we're in business together. We're in a partnership. And like you open your doors every day by talking to people. We open our doors every day and have to get product to people. And we have to make sure that everything's working online. And we have to make sure that the right promotions and the events here in the Philippines are amazing. They are amazing. And so our partnership is really important. And so that's a resource that you have. Just like when you think about the products, all of the work that Dr. Wentz has done to have them all approved around the world, have all of the facilities FDA approved, all of the athletes, all of that work's done. And so your job is to do two things. Talk to people and never quit. Really important. You've got one of the best uplines in the world.
Yes.
There's no doubt about that. You know, I've been working with Ed's one of the first people I met when I came to the Philippines. And his heart, what he gives to people and what Shane gives to people is exceptional. And they are exceptional people. And as someone said before, it's about their giving without expectation of return. And that's one of the key factors, another key factor of success. If you're willing to give without expectation of return, you can't help but be successful. And I've seen it over and over and over again. Have any of you heard of Colette Larson? So Colette Larson, have you heard of her?
Yeah, Colette.
Okay, she's one of the top income earners, one of the first, Colette Larson. She's an 11-star diamond.
Wow.
And she's an amazing lady. And she talks about never stop giving and you'll never stop receiving. Don't expect it, but it will come back to you. And so we continue to do those two things. We talk to people and we never quit. Have you ever felt like quitting?
No.
Good. Now tell the truth. Of course you do.
Yes.
And that's why you have an upline, and you have an upline and an upline. And you have an opportunity of leadership and people to help you. I mean, what about this young man over here? Outstanding. Outstanding. There he was, outstanding over there. He was very good.
Yes.
Did a great job. I mean, there are people here to help you, just as we're here to help you. And so, the more people you talk to, the more result you get.
Yeah.
Bill Wang said to me, he talks to everyone. He just did a renovation at his house, and they had 30 people over the course of the renovation coming. Electrician, plumber, plasterer, tiler. Guess what they all do now? I swear to God, they are all in Usana. I said, all of them? He said, everyone. Everyone. Customer. Or they've joined the business, or they're actively working the business. All of them. All of those people. So I talk to everyone. The taxi driver, the person who opens the door at the airport, the person who helps me with the check-in baggage. The only thing you have to let go of, one thing you got to let go of, is fear.
Yes.
Fear. You know, fear is spelled F-E-A-R. And it stands for false expectation appearing real. Fear is something that lives in here, not out there. It lives here. And so you've got to overcome that, and you've got great support to do that. Think of the fear that Ed overcame. And I hear Nathaniel's story and so many stories around the world of people, for whatever reason, they gave up that fear. They decided to let that go.
Yes.
And they did two things. They talked to people.
And never quit. Yeah.
And so that's really, you know, I like to keep the message simple. I want you to remember that something of tonight. And that's really it. And when you're thinking about, well, this has been a tough day, and I did what he said. I've talked to a lot of people. No one's doing anything, so I think I'm going to quit. There's no way. That's when you call Ed, or you call me. Or you send an email, or you ask for help, or you ask for support from someone in your team. And there's plenty of support for you out there. You know, we have just begun in the Philippines. We really have. The difference between us and every other company is that we have a combination of great product, great leadership from Dr. Wentz, great vision from Dave Wentz.
Yes.
So we've got a young guy at the helm of the company really driving this forward globally, and all of the things. Last month I was in Salt Lake City, and we were mapping out the next 10 years.
Wow.
And so that's a really exciting thing to do for an old man like me. So, you know, to really look at what are the things that we're planning. And I wish I could share even just one of those with you.
How does it look like?
Yeah, how does it look like? I love that question.
Yeah.
It looks great. It looks great. And at the heart of what we do, we're about good health, supplementation, and wealth opportunity. And so we look at those three things as what can we do to enhance that year after year after year. And we think about what will the essentials look like in 2022. Okay, so in 10 years from now, what will that product look like? How will that be changing lives? So I'm 52, I'll be 62 then. Who's in their 20s here?
20s.
A lot. I know. And, you know, my son, put your hand down there. You know, two of my boys, they're 24 and 26, and I say to them, what do you think about the next 10 years? And my 22-year-old says, I don't even know what I'm doing next week, let alone the next 10 years. But, you know, so we're thinking about the future, the scientific future of health around the world. And so if we're in 18 countries now, and let's say we're in, let's just make up a number. Let's say we're in 30 countries in 10 years' time. I'm making that up. It's just, don't record that. But let's say we are in that. So think of how many more people we could influence. How many people do you know? How many relatives do you have in other countries that are traveling to and from around the world? But even within our own country here, we are such a baby business. There's such a long way to go to become the market leader, both in terms of the largest direct selling and network marketing company in this country, but most importantly, the largest supplement company that this country has ever seen. And to hold that position is going to be most important. And we do that through two things. We talk to people and never quit. That's what we do. I've totally lost my point there. But yeah, when I was in Salt Lake, we were talking about the vision of where we want to go. And then how does the compensation plan look? Even next year, what are the things that we're going to do? And the year after.
It will be announced on the 20th.
How do you know?
Because every time there's an event, there's always a big announcement.
Yeah. Not always, but anyway.
10 ways to earn.
But you know, let's think about how the compensation plan will look next year. Or the year after.
Your tickets now.
Or the year after. Or the year after. Or the year after that. I don't think a year's gone by that we haven't been able to look at it and say, what needs to be done to make it better? What can we do that gives back a little bit more? And I think across all of those things, I'm not making any commitment. Don't show these recordings to anyone. Don't show them to Dave Wentz. Thank you.
Yeah.
But you know what? We could do nothing. We could do nothing and the business is great. The opportunity remains the best in the world. And you're supported by a really enthusiastic group of people here in the company. I mean, I've just been to the staff Christmas party.
Yeah.
And I don't know of a group of people more dedicated to what they do every day. You know, you just talk to them about, they come to work every day. You've seen them when it's really busy there, and it's really busy there a lot. And you see that group of people and their dedication to what they do. And so there's no doubt about the commitment that's there. And so let's just continue to do those two things. We just need to talk to people, and we just never quit. And you can't help but have success.
Yes.
You can't help but have success. Because what you're doing is changing people's lives. And as you change people's lives, you know what they do? They tell other people what you've done.
Yes.
And they tell other people how you did that. But they can't do it if you don't talk to them, and they can't do that if you quit. And so we need to continue to do that. Our business is about sharing opportunity. It's about sharing life. It's about sharing product with other people. And so do it more. Do it every day. Do it often. And never quit. Most important. Thank you for inviting me tonight. Thank you.
Grabe!
I cannot see.
Kinidnap ko siya, ha?
Kidnap.
Every
So,
Yeah.
you can have pictures,
Yeah.
Sir David.
Yeah.
Yes.